Good day guys, we're doing a power steering hose replacement on a 2007 new body style GMC truck. Should be the same thing as any 2007 new body style to a 13 GMC truck. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of go through and show you what's going on here with the power steering hose here. So I kind of got my tools figured out here. What we're going to need. Going to need a ratchet with a bit of an extension on it, and an 8mm socket north of the border here, so we get a little bit of both. So the wrench, we're going to use a 5/8 here to get the nut off the back of the power steering pump. And just because the mosquitoes are bad this year, we got off here too. So if you're up in good old Saskatchewan, that's something you might need. Other thing you'll be interested to have probably is getting a light that you can see down in there. Kind of cleaned off spot. That's the that's where the lower nut is on the power steering hose here. So we want to get in and loosen that guy. And then there's also one on the back of the steering pump. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a good view in there of that or not. There's a nut we're going to have to loosen off there for the hose. So anyway, we'll loosen this off here and get you updated. Alright, so I got the nut loosened off here. You can see down in there, there's kind of a nut between those two hoses there. And we have to take the bolt out to get the, it's kind of a clamping style type hose setup there. So I have to remove that to release the hoses. So we'll do that and show you back when we find the back side of the nut on the pump there. Alright, so something I realized here halfway through. I had my long, I threw it someplace on the ground there, but I had my long handled wrench in there before, and I realized that down in this low spot here you kind of run into, you have to stick the wrench down into here, and I was kind of running into some space problems with the steering shaft there. So yeah, I guess I went and found a little cheaper short end screwdriver I had laying around my toolbox there, and ended up having to use that. But yeah, as soon as a person puts your wrench, you just slide it into the back of the pump down there, and slide that on there like that. And GM's getting a little smarter like Toyota, and they actually put a kink in the hose there for your wrench, and then you just simply twist it off. I broke it in between videos here, so, but anyway, that's how that works. And then after that, yeah, we'll just reach down in there and loosen that off. The other thing I was going to mention to you guys, I put a bucket underneath here in this case we're going to lose some fluid. I know it comes from the ground, go back to the ground, but you never know what you might lose out of there, and it's just a good idea to keep some bucket down there. So that's the hose coming out. Just remove it there and slide it off down in the bottom there. Back. Also get this other goofy thing coming out of here too. Put that back in there for a second, and pull this guy out of here. Kind of work it out, I guess. Comes back this way. Back on the ground here. That's what she looks like. Yeah, I showed you what the old line looked like. This is the new one. Clean fittings, everything's nice and tight there all the way. This is what the connector on the end of that thing kind of sort of looks like. Basically there's two ports down low there. This slides in, and there's another hose that connects through the top here and clamps in there at the same time. So that's how that works. Something I hadn't really anticipated. See where the hoses go into those two dots there. There's actually a seal squeezed into there, and it fits on the kind of on the front of that, and you squeeze it in there. That's actually what seals it. So I didn't realize that before, but we've got a seal in there, and we've got a new seal. We'll be able to put that back in there. The only problem is there's two holes, and that means there's two hoses that go back in there, so I'm not sure if there's hopefully not leaking on the the top hose there or something like that, but I guess we'll put her in and find out. Yeah, they gave this here is the O-ring that goes on. It's got the pipe fitting on the end, and then the other side, it's kind of what that seal looks like. It's got a little squeeze thing on the bottom there. I don't know how you can see that, but that's basically squeezes in there. Goes to the end of this thing here. Got a semi-sword or something like that. And squeeze it back into the hole and put that top line in at the same time and stick that nut back in there. So that's what we'll go on to next year. Something I should note here, that little seal that we had to squeeze out of the bottom hole there to replace with a new one. I just use a screwdriver like this, put it in the hole with the blade kind of facing vertically, and then just tilted it sideways, and it kind of pulled the seal out. So it's not hard to pull out, but gotta make sure you take it out before you shove another one in there, and then you got two seals squeezed in there, and that's just a bad deal. So we've got the hose kind of back in here again. Just kind of folded it around there a little bit. It's kind of a brace here, right there, and then the hole is right actually pretty much underneath that. If you can see on my hose there, I've got a O-ring stuck on there. A little bit of fluid leaking there, but that's fine. What you're doing here, so kind of almost makes two clicks there when you're putting it through. GM built these trucks with really wide open engine bays, but they're really deep, so on my tippy toes stretching to reach into this thing here. So alright, so that's kind of that tighten wrench that, and on the bottom side here, those two lines that I got to go in there. So got my seal on the bottom one, you can see there. I guess I should slide this out. These actually, I guess, have to clip together. See if I can show you how that works. It's kind of a little groove for it to slip into there. A little force to get her back squeezed in there, I guess. Yeah, and just get her squeezed in there and do the bolt up. And I thought that'd be a little simpler, and it is, but I guess you gotta forget that power steering systems are a lot of pressure there. So basically what I did, I got everything lined up. I got those two hoses there and there lined up, and then I just kind of worked the bolt in a little bit. They give you a little bit extra length of bolt, and I think that's the plan. Make sure that when you're doing this, you hold your hoses on the side with one hand, and then tighten this screw bolt by your fingers with the other hand, and just make sure to do it really gently and straight, because you wouldn't want to bugger up any threads in there, and you'll really be in trouble there. So just make sure to line it up straight, and then yeah, we should be able to just latch a ratchet on there and crank her down. So okay, so I got everything back in here. Just down low, you can see how we got that those two hoses bolted back in there. Just a little tip, a little bit of patience with that's not going to hurt. Make sure you got, again, that 8mm socket on a bit of an extension to kind of get that bolt in there. But that's kind of the way it works, is it just wiggles it way down in there, and that plate kind of pushes down on the hose and gets it lined up and drags the top hose in there with it. So that's kind of how that system works. It's actually a better idea than I thought. GM must be talking to the Germans a little bit to come up with something, a good idea. So happy to see that. But that went in nice. Again, the biggest thing there is just a little patience to get it back. Biggest trouble was, I didn't really show you before, but tightening that bolt for the fitting there. Again, a little bit of patience. You got to kind of wiggle the line from the front here with one hand, and just use your fingers to try and get it threaded in there properly. Make sure the hose goes, fits right into its socket properly, and then start tightening on the nut. And use by feel. It's kind of awkward because the engine sits in an angle, and it looks like it's straight, but it's not. So just a little bit of patience, a little bit of feel, and take your time. The other thing is, if you can leave your engine to cool off, it would help. This point where that bolt's sitting right there, and by the block heater, it's really hot. So I mean, it kind of melted my finger there a little bit, but give yourself some time to get that done properly. That'll help you a lot. Okay, other than that, fill her up, check for leaks, and hopefully she works. All right, thanks. Hope you enjoyed the video.